guys. Today is April 18th, 2025, Thursday. It's episode 546. That's pretty crazy. And I'd like to believe that there's new listeners on the show because I actually posted on my story today that I guess I'm on episode 545. Posted that on my story. I think the last time I posted anything about this podcast was when I was in the 150s or something like that. Because I had a few people reach out and said they listened to the episode 157 where I talk about literally every single detail of my life. I'm going to have to do one of those again and then compare notes to see where I was then and compare it to where I am now. I was actually supposed to do a recap episode, dude. I think it was... Shit, dude. When was I supposed to do that? I think I was supposed to do a recap episode. I was supposed to do a recap episode a week ago. Didn't do that, dude. Okay, here's the thing. Every time I come up with these ideas of shows to do and how I'm going to recap this and do this and blah, blah, blah. Dude, they're great ideas. But I just don't want to fucking do that, you know? And the reason why is because the way that this show is right now, it's so simple. I just click record, and then I record, and I talk, and that's it. I don't have to think hard or plan shit. I just go. And I think that's how I've been able to go 546 in a row without missing a day, you know? God damn, if you replay that, I just rhymed 12 times. But anyway, I'm just getting my shit set up here. But yeah, I mean, having to worry about every 90 days I got to do this show and I got to have a plan and I got to recap all my achievements. I guess that's very important for documentation purposes. But dude, I'm making a goddamn software myself that makes it so I can summarize all this and get all the important info. Because maybe, dude, maybe that's like one of the first things I try to build, you know, for myself. Maybe that's just way too advanced for me right now, to be honest. But dude, a man can have goals, all right? So, in case you are left in the dark there, listen to yesterday's show. I was talking about how I was gonna have 10 years down the road, I'll have some kind of team, right? We'll be organizing all these episodes based on what I talk about, and then make it so it's very easy to listen to everything, even make playlists or something like that, so anybody can listen to anything, or I guess any topic specifically. And then I thought, holy shit, well, if I want to make software, dude, I'll just make software that does that, and then we'll be good. So anyway, so my alarm went off to make sure that I let Lexi in my house. It's my Thursday alarm. Funny story about that. But it just went off, so stop the recording. So because of that, we are putting on Do Not Disturb. I'm not going to have my shit interrupted again. All right. So right now I'm just getting my weighted vest on, about to go do the outdoor workout. And I'm choking myself. It is pretty late, but I was just eating because I still had to get my food in, my protein to 200 for the day. Because I'm doing intermittent fasting and my feeding windows from 11 to 7. Or honestly, whatever time I finished eating the day before. And so because today I finished eating at 7:36, I'm not going to be able to eat until tomorrow at 11:36, which is a big bummer, dude. 36 minutes, they matter, dude. Dude, I've come to the conclusion I just don't like to eat. I don't want to eat. And maybe that's why I'm so naturally just skinny. I'd be a twig if I didn't have the gym. I grew up a twig. I was tiny. I just never ate. I remember being dude, I'm not going to finish this outdoor workout until after I have to go to sleep. That sucks. But I remember when I was a kid, I would play Call of Duty nonstop. All I would do is drink Mountain Dew. Now, I wouldn't eat shit. I would just drink Mountain Dew. I think I've got some content posted about that, as if you, Mr. or Mrs. Listener, in 12 years can go find it. I think I talked about that, though. But that's all I did. I would just drink Mountain Dew and play video games. I'd have some Cocoa Puffs, and then that was it. Didn't want to eat. And especially now that I'm trying to do shit in life, I just feel like I don't have time to eat, you know? And it's not that I don't have time. It's that I get 86,400 seconds a day, And I want to spend all of them learning and building and creating and progressing forward in life. And unfortunately, eating is part of that deal. Otherwise, I'm gonna be skinny. I'm not gonna be strong. Gonna have some malnourishment. Gonna be unhealthy. You name it. It just doesn't mean I like it though. It's interesting though, because here I am saying I don't want to eat, and then we have people that have eating disorders, like they can't stop eating, or they're morbidly obese. Just crazy. But I don't know. It's just like today, I'm sitting there. I'm at work. I go the first 5 hours of my shift, or the first 6 hours of my shift, no eating. 11 o'clock rolls around, and I just feel this dread. I'm like, gotta stop what I'm doing and go eat. Then I go eat, then I finish up, and then make sure I got everything. Hold on. Phone. Set my timer for the workout. Let's do that. Make sure we don't miss. Okay, after workout. Boom, got it. And so, making sure, or then I have to stop what I'm doing and go eat. Dude, I should have wore some different shorts. It's cold as shit. Whatever. So I gotta, sorry, I'm now, I didn't lock my house. Fuck me. What am I saying, dude? Sorry, I'm distracted. I always do this. I do this every time. Dude, it's cold as shit out here. Hold on. Okay, cool. Good to go. All right. What was I saying? Yeah, so I feel this dread, and I'm like, I have to go eat. And I go eat, come back to do what I'm doing, and then 1 o'clock rolls around, and that's usually when we take second break at work. That's usually when you can go eat. But if you are like me in my current situation, well, I guess almost it is more than half the shop now. We don't have work again. And so you're pretty much on break all day. Now, it sounds glorious to some of you, sounds like hell to others, but it is what it is. So 1 o'clock rolls around, didn't even think about it, and then 2 o'clock is pretty close, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even eat on second break. I need to still gotta get my food in, because if I don't get it in now, I'm gonna have to do it after work or after the gym, and that sounds like hell. Definitely don't want to do that. And so I was just force feeding myself oatmeal and some little Halo oranges. And I say force feeding, but it's not a lot of food, but it's a lot of food if you're trying to eat it in 5 minutes, because I wanted to get it done before I went to the gym. So yeah, dude, I don't ever want to eat. I don't know. And it's crazy because maybe what it is just because I have to eat so frequently in the 8 hours that I have. And it's going to get loud again. I'm going to go over to this main road. Dude, it is chilly. It is a chilly motherfucker. Oh, can I cross? Dude, it is a cold one. God damn. Dude, I should have wore different clothes. I'm not turning back. We're already 2.5 minutes deep. So on paper, it would take me 3 minutes to go back home, change, to get back on my workout. But because of that 3-minute differential, and I'm already at 2.5, that would add 5 minutes onto the total workout. I think it'll be okay. I don't even know where to go, dude. Let's go this way today. I'm just in my neighborhood. I saw that black cat again, dude. Found it. I found your black cat. Anyway, so, dude, this is bad. I'm fucking freezing out here. That's a fact. It's not complaining. But let's see. What else we got? That's the show, guys. Peace. Nah, I'm just playing. I have no idea. But anyway, so, yeah, eating is a dread for me. The thing, though, that I am thinking about, though, is actually not doing intermittent fasting. It's because it's quite difficult for me, and it causes a lot of, I think, unnecessary friction for me trying to just get all my food in within the 8 hours. Because because I wanted to change the diet up, and you're absolutely allowed to do that. Andy Frisella did it himself. I think he said in his book he starts with keto because it gets him in the zone or whatever, gets him like feeling the groove or whatever, in the groove I think he says in the book, and then he switches to low carb, high carb cycle, something like that. I'm like, maybe I should just swap off intermittent fasting, because I wouldn't say that intermittent fasting is a diet. It's time restricted eating. That's all it is. It's just eating, choosing when you're going to eat, when you're not going to eat. Does not care what foods you do eat. So I don't know if you consider that a dieting. It's just a way of eating, I guess. A timing. I don't know what you'd call that shit. But anyway, so I could do that for sure. I'd probably still keep all my macros the exact same because they're working for me. I think today's day 8. I'll have to weigh myself tomorrow. I didn't weigh myself this morning. I totally forgot. But yesterday I was 194. So I think officially I started at 200.2. But you know, when you start any kind of weight loss journey, you're always going to lose that initial water weight when you absolutely adjust everything, and especially if you're drinking a gallon of water, you're going to displace a lot of water. Just everything happens all at once. So I definitely did not lose 6 pounds of fat in the first week. I'd like to think I did, but I absolutely didn't. What's crazy is even if that were true, that would still be slower than what magazines say that you can do on the front cover. Magazines will tell you shit like, oh, you can lose 30 pounds this month. You know, that's 7.5 pounds a week, dude. That's a pound a day. It's crazy. Can't do that. You absolutely can. It's not going to be fat. And you're going to look like shit when you're done. 30 pounds in a month, dude? That's crazy. So, anyway, I mean, what I'm doing right now is currently working for me. I feel like what's cool about intermittent fasting, though, is I almost feel like I'm force feeding myself while losing fat, you know? Because my protein's there. Could be higher, but protein is there. Weight training is there. Cardio is there. Probably losing some strength and some muscle, just a little bit. But that's just part of the game. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. It's pretty windy, actually. I got this windscreen on my mic here, using my DJI wireless mic. But yeah, let's see what's coming up, dude. I talked about this, but I'm gonna touch on it some more. What I think I'm going to do, dude, I don't know. I'm just trying to play this out in my head, dude, because I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I want to sell that camera that I just got, I think, because the whole reason why I got it was so I can make content and make some videos for the fitness page. But if I'm not going to do that anymore, it just wouldn't be the investment that I bought it for. It wouldn't be worth the money that I paid for it, which total was like $750. Now, I mean, yeah, we'll just call it $750. I don't want to justify it, but $750, and that would be the reason why I bought that camera is because it has the tracking feature. You can follow me around. It's 4K. It shoots in D-Log M, which I've discovered is great for color grading. I just suck at color grading, so that's a bummer. I'll have to learn that. But yeah, so if I got rid of the camera, okay, so yeah, going back, if the main reason why I got the camera is something I'm no longer doing, it feels silly to keep it. You know, I don't know when I would actually use it. It'd be fun because I talked with Lexi about this. I said, we can make so many cute ass videos with this. We should try to do something. And, just document our travels and stuff. Because we're going on a road trip here soon. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cute. We could record a lot of fun stuff. But the more I think about it, I'm like, yes, it would be cute. Yes, it would be very high quality. However, if we really want to make one of these types of videos, we can use our phone. This is what I'm thinking. Like, we can use our phones. Also, if if I were to record it with the camera, that's just more shit that I would have to edit and do all that. And yes, it's for good memories. But goodness, dude, I don't know if I really want to do that, you know? The whole spending all that time editing. Dude, is my workout not even going? What's going on? Yeah, we're good. I have this. Oh, it just paused. Why did it pause? It's at 9 minutes now. I don't really care. I feel like we're good. It paused for however long it did. Yeah, I don't care. We're still going to go to 45. So I have this irrational fear just because of the world that we live in. I'm wearing this weighted vest, and I'm walking around an elementary school right now. I don't want someone to think that I'm a bad guy. You know what I mean? Because I'm just rucking. I'm on day 8. I'm just rucking. Don't shoot me. I don't got a gun. I'm not a shooter. I'm good, you know? I actually think about that every time I'm around the school with my weighted vest on because it looks like a big assault vest, you know? It looks like I'm about to do some stupid shit. It's so sad that we live in a world where it's like, oh yeah, now they're shooting, you know? As of today's date, I think there was one in Florida at Florida State University. It's horrible, dude. Don't really want to dive into that. I just think it's crazy that's, I don't want to say normal, but it's just, matter of fact, it's not normal. It's, dude, I don't want to go into this. I really don't, but we see the news on the news for a reason. It's not just random shit that pops up. It's like, oh, well, we got to get all this narrative pushed. So that happened, put it in there. That happened, put it in there. Oh, that doesn't fit the narrative. That shooter was a different color. That shooter was a woman. That shooter was Korean. That shooter was Asian. That shooter was white. Whatever. And so narratives, just depends on the narrative. What gets pushed, what doesn't. So anyway, I'll just leave it there. But also, I think it's very weird that, matter of fact, I don't think we should be knowing everything that's going on in the world. You know, you could be sitting there watching your local news and you'll get some shit like, oh, 4-story building in Brazil collapsed. 3 people injured. It's like, dude, that sucks for sure. That is very unfortunate. And I hope everybody was okay and I hope whatever. But that's in Brazil. It's, you know, different time zone, different continent, different country. Let's focus on our own shit, you know? What about the girl on the corner that sold $20 in her lemonade stand, dude? That'd be fucking sick to hear about that kind of stuff. And I just made the 4-story thing up for Brazil, or I just made the 4-story building thingy up for Brazil. I don't know if that's real or not. But I don't know, dude. Why are we hearing about shit that... It's like they just try so hard, you know, to talk about shit. But anyway, I don't really... I don't want this to be topic of the show. Dude, I'm walking around this elementary school track right now. Hopefully it's not that windy. I'm so sorry if it is. Walking around this elementary school track makes me think of my elementary school. And I believe it was you run around the track 6 times and it was a mile. Every time you got a mile or 10 miles, you got one of these feet things for a necklace. You put those little feet things on a necklace. You wear it around your neck, and it was just like your fucking prestige icon in Call of Duty. It's like, holy shit, dude, he's got 10 feet. Holy shit, he's got 20 feet. I'm gonna name drop some people, so if there's any people that went to school with me in elementary, then you'll know. But there's Parker, Woody, Bryson, Wyrick, Tanner, Buckway. I'm pretty sure those guys, they were always jogging the most or running, trying to get the most feet. Parker, Woody especially. Wonder how you guys are doing. But yeah, they always had the most feet, and I was always so jealous. But I had no right to be because I would just walk around with my buddies, me and Khaled and Alex, dude. Me, Khaled, Dave, and Alex Rodriguez, just walking around, bullshitting, being in 6th, 7th, or being in 6th grade, 5th grade, whatever. So anyway, so it was a long side tangent there. Because we're going back to what I was saying, the whole camera thing. I want to sell the camera and use that money, buy a nice mic, and then put the remaining money toward, I don't know, some kind of setup for, oh, hi, buddy. That's a doggy. Put the remaining money either toward a bill or some kind of setup for I don't know, some helpful tool or something like that. Maybe some course, I don't know, for coding, I don't know. And the reason why I was hesitant on the whole mic thing earlier, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, it's because I think for the next 67 days, I'm going to be mainly recording podcasts outside because it just makes sense as far as time-wise goes, as far as the time goes for me to kill two birds with one stone and to record a show while I'm doing an outdoor workout. Because that's kind of how I justified doing 75 hard to begin with. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, I've been struggling with this shit. And not because the program's hard, but because it's inconvenient and because I don't want to spend any extra time doing not learning, you know? I want to be at my desk on my laptop and I want to be learning because I want to make this real. I don't know. The other thing is that kind of goes against what I just said with the microphone. If I get that microphone, then that means any kind of podcast from here on out is going to sound, well, if I record it with that mic, is going to sound fucking good, you know? Because there's some mics out there that are $400. They don't even plug into your computer. You got to get a whole, I don't even know what they're called, dude. You got to get one of those, what are they called? A sound? No, not a soundboard. A switchboard? I don't know what they're called. Where you plug in all your audio cables into that, and then that goes into the wall, and that syncs to your computer, something like that. But I don't know, it's something like that. But then that just means that your audio is nice. You know, it's buttery, smooth, crispy, nice. Sounds fucking professional. And that makes me think of the idea that I had of teaching other people how to learn, or explaining to people the things that I learn the second that I learn them, so that I can retain as much information as I can while also teaching somebody else very short and simply, very short and sweet. And then record the video, do a voiceover, commentate the video of what I'm talking about, and just make videos explaining the things that I'm learning, what it does, how to use it, practical usage, all that stuff. So in my head, we have all these different tags, elements, attributes, different lines in code. And if I were to just dedicate 1 minute per video to explain what the thing does, how to use it, why it's, I think that would do well long term, because the attention span is so low. Because if I come across 2 videos and it says learn how to code and use how to code JavaScript strings, and one video is 1.5 minutes and the other one is 14 minutes, dude, guess which one I'm clicking? Not the 14-minute one. And it's not because I don't have 14 minutes, it's because it looks like I can get the same answer in a fraction of the time, so I want that one. I've also had I've also wanted to make videos and then just say, hey, what's up guys, my name's Bryson, I don't have a fucking intro. And then I would just get into it, because I don't like when videos start and there's just a minute-long intro, or they just start talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. I think it's very appropriate, depending on the context of the video. But if it's a tutorial, that's why I'm here. I want the tutorial. And I'm not complaining, but it is what I do not like. If I click on a video, I want to learn the thing, and I want to spend all the time there learning about that thing, and not one less second not learning about that thing. And so I just want the tutorials to be about that. So if I say, hey, what's going on guys, my name's Bryson, I don't have an intro. All right, so today we are talking about blah, blah, blah. This is what you're gonna do. Type in, dude, bam, I'm in. I mean, arguably that was too long. Dude, they're playing street hockey with rollerblades. That's cool. I'm in a good neighborhood, dude. Anyway, so that's kind of the idea. And so all it would take for me is to learn very loosely what something is, try to talk about it, try to record myself talking about it, explain it, and in doing so, maybe it would take a while to actually learn that one particular thing well enough to then want to record a video on it. But if I just kind of made it like this podcast and I just did one a day, if that took me 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but it really hammered home the info that I'm trying to learn, I think that's extremely beneficial for me. I think I should do that. So going back with the microphone thing, I think it'd be cool if I had a nice mic, so that way the videos that I make are just that much better. And if you want to look at it in another way, the microphone would be free. I would just be essentially trading the camera for the mic. Then I'd have extra money left over because the camera was hella expensive, but I don't know, it just gets me thinking, because, I definitely have, I've been trying to learn coding for 4 or 5 days now. So I don't know shit, but I do know a little bit. And so I feel like I know enough about the small little things that I do know about to actually make a video, or maybe even 2 on. And if that helps me retain info, then I think it's a win-win. And if it helps somebody else learn info, then I think it's a triple win. And also, long term, let's say that I really commit to this. I do this for 1,000 days, and in that time I get 500 videos done. It's 500 videos of coding help. I don't know what the average view would be, but if they're good enough, then I might make a name for myself. Who knows, dude? And I get some ad revenue from the videos. So a little side income there. I don't know how that shit works. I've never really looked into YouTube and the income and things like that, but it is an idea. But ultimately, the goal I think would be to learn for myself. Because I got this whole idea from Stephen Bartlett. I already talked about this, but I'll talk about it again. He wrote the book Diary of a CEO, 33 Laws for Business and Life. Pretty sure that's the title. He's got a podcast. It's modern wisdom-esque. It's kind of the same style. And if you don't know what modern wisdom is, that's Chris Williamson's podcast. I like that one as well. But it's like that. He brings guests on, really try to dive deep on modern wisdom, I guess. And I think it's just such a genius name. It's funny, I saw somebody talking shit on the podcast, Modern Wisdom, saying that all they do is just read quotes and then say another quote and then read another quote and then go back and forth with quotes. And it's funny because what is modern day wisdom if it's not words? What would that be? Maybe you thought of something. I don't know. Oh, I'm dead. We're good. I don't know what you thought what you think it is. But I'll tell you what, dude. It's probably some stuff that people are saying. Some quotes. Oh, that's a good dog. Hi, puppy. That's a Roddy. That's a big boy. Yeah, that's a big boy. I'm protected by a fence, but I feel like I'm going to get bit. I don't know. Anyway, so like, what is modern wisdom if it's not what people share from their brains? So it's like, of course, it would be some kind of quote. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. They said, all they do is say quotes back and forth. I'm like, yeah, but they talk about it, and that's what talking about the wisdom that comes from the modern day person. And they discuss it. Hence the name. I don't know. Just people hate on some shit, and then just interesting. If you don't understand something, it's all good, but you don't gotta look like a weenie head because you don't. Anyway. So there's that. There's that whole idea. I can make some videos. Wouldn't even know where to start. I need to treat it the same way that I treat this podcast, which is, just use Neato Record or Loom. If you're listening to this and you don't know what Neato Record is, you know what Loom is probably. It's a screen recording software that also records your face. I think Neato Record does it better. You make a little bit more customization. Shameless plug for Neato. I actually messaged Neeraj today. If you're a listener, you know who that is. And I said, hey, very, very long story short, made a little pivot in my trajectory in life today. And I'm going to take the software development course. And I was wondering if you had any tips or advice for me. Because he is the owner of Big Binary and Neato. And all of his products are for free. He's got quite a cool system. The reason why they're free is because he actually has college students work on them, and then they make the finished product. Then when they graduate, they get hired on. That's when they start making money, and they do other projects for. I just think it's fucking genius, you know? But anyway, there's that. So we'll see what he says. But yeah, I would have to treat these videos like I do with this podcast, which would be just recording a little bit, not editing it, not making it fancy, just fucking sending it, dude. That's it, you know? Make a description. It would essentially be the same thing as this podcast. It would just be video form, and it actually would be very short, because I think that would be a key component to the entire thing, having the videos be, you know, no longer than a minute or two. And the idea would be that there would be no edits, you know? I wouldn't have to go back and edit or color grade, because it's just a screen recording. It's got my face in the corner, and it's it. So I think that would be the route I would have to take. I'd want to take if I were to do this. I think that's how it would be sustainable long term. Just going over one thing. Just one thing. And yeah, dude, I mean, that's just an idea. I think it'd be cool. And again, for the reason that it would help me gain some understanding, because I would have to teach somebody, and I don't want to make damn sure that whatever I'm saying is accurate. I wouldn't want to put that video on YouTube and have it be absolutely false. You know what I mean? So, kind of forced me to ensure that what I'm saying is legit and it's not some bullshit. And it also forced me to learn that thing so well that I would be able to explain it to somebody else. Not to mention, you know, I'd also have a little 1-2 minute video of that for myself in the future if for some reason or somehow I just forgot what the fuck I was doing. You know what I mean? And yeah. And the way that I envision that going on in my head is I would just, like, no Word docs, nothing. I would just open up the code editing software. Just use VS Code right now. And I would just kind of write the script on there, or write the script. I'd write the code there. And then I would have, it would all be laid out right there, and I would just use, I don't know what you call it, but you type some double slash marks, or you type less than, exclamation, dash, dash, and then you're able to write freely or whatever, and it doesn't affect the code. I don't know what that shit's called. You free write? I don't know. That's how much I know, you know? So that itself right there. How's it going, dude? All right. Left on scene in real life, dude. Literally looked at me in the face. All good. So, you know, that right there could be a whole lesson, you know? How to keyboard shortcut for this thing, how to use it, why you need to. And then everything that I do would be kind of taught like that. Might even be cool if I piggyback stuff off one another. So like day one, we have talking about variables and constants. And then the next day we talk about printing, or making the console say those variables and constants out loud. I mean, I'm talking so fucking simple. But I don't know. I don't really YouTube shit or Google shit like that. I just ChatGPT it, you know, like how to use this. It gives me an exact step-by-step answer. It's much better. Sometimes I'll go to YouTube if I'm struggling, but I don't know. Either way, it would help me cement my understanding. I don't know, dude. I just want to learn this shit, dude. If I knew how to do all of this, then holy shit, dude, it'd probably be a struggle for me to even record this podcast, because I'd be so just engulfed with all this stuff. Dude, if I knew how to code and I was very fluent at it, dude, I'd be living a hard life, because I would just be glued to my computer because of how much cool shit I'd be trying to make, you know? I was looking into Everfit, and I'm like, I was just Googling around, and I'm like, when was Everfit, when was it founded? It's like that's not what you're supposed to say. When was it found? When was it founded? I don't know. It said 2017. They're now popping off now. Well, they've been doing well for a while, but maybe the last few years. So if you say from 2017 to 2022, I don't know, that's 5 years. So it said that it was founded by two people which leads me to believe, I mean, when I read that, I hear, yeah, 2 people, and then there was a company. Now there's over 100 employees, which is crazy to think about. But there's 100, there's 2 people who founded the whole thing, and it said that they make over $56 million in yearly revenue. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, that's I could do that, you know? I could absolutely make that in the next however many years if I just learn this shit, you know? Because, dude, for me, I don't know. Maybe I'm way ahead of myself here. Matter of fact, I know I am. But it's still very exciting to think about, because what the thing with software is you make it once and it is forever. Just make it once. And then, you know, you make it once and it's forever, but then you also have all that code there, so you could copy paste that, put in another thing, move some shit around, add some more stuff, remove some other stuff, change the colors, whole new software, whole new different purpose, whole new different intent. And voila, you know, whole different setup. So I don't know. But truthfully, dude, that's not even what really gets me going. It's just the fact that I can just create shit and put it out there and people can use it, simplify their lives, make business easier, whatever it is that they're doing. Because all the stuff that I want to build for the PT Dom group, I absolutely want to. But how cool would it be if I could actually make that into a web app, some kind of software or something like that, as opposed to just a spreadsheet? Because spreadsheets are cool, and you can do a lot with them. But how much cooler would it be if I said, hey, I actually made a whole software for you guys. Just use that. Bada bang, bada boom, you know? Bada boom, bada bang, whatever you say. So that's kind of the goal. And I'll be honest, so this is something I was thinking about today. So I told him that I'd work on this spreadsheet for him. And this spreadsheet is for the whole group. And I think this would be a good foot in the door to be the operations guy for the whole group, which is crazy. I don't know what they would pay me. I don't know what compensation would be. But part of me just wants to not even focus on that and just focus on learning what I'm doing now. Because the reason why I even made that post in the first place, so I made a post in the group and I said, hey, I don't want to be a fitness coach. I realized that I find a lot more joy and fulfillment from doing all the numbers and spreadsheets and the formulas and all this stuff. I find a lot more joy and fulfillment doing those types of things. So if anybody needs help, let me know. And I said that because I'm in the mastermind now until October. That's 6 more payments that I got to come up with. It's $500 each month, so it's $3,000. So in my head, I'm like, dude, I don't want to spend $3,000. But dude, I don't know. In my brain, I'm like, dude, it's almost like I would rather just spend $3,000 and then also be able to learn and spend my quote free time doing nothing but learning and trying to make this shit work, as opposed to being distracted with all these side projects and spreadsheet shits just to get paid. You know, because if we play this out, let's say I don't get the deferred resignation. Let's say things pick up at work, not super crazy, but they're just steady. So I always have work. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to have that much time. So I'm going to go to work, go to the gym, come home. It's 4:00. I have from 4 to 8. It's 4 hours a night. Some of that's eating, some of that's prepping for the night or the day ahead. Some of that's whatever. So yeah, I only have that much time per night. And if I'm working on all these projects all the time, then that's a lot of time spent not on my own stuff. So when am I going to have the time to learn my own stuff? I guess a better way to put it would be, if I'm working 2 full-time jobs, where's the time for my dreams? Then there's the perspective that I need to be able to learn this stuff from somebody else, pick those skills up, and then implement them into my own business. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm just young and dumb. But I feel like that's incorrect. I feel like if you have your head on straight and you really do the right things, I think it's better. And again, this is coming from me at this point in my life. This is just what I think. I think it'd be better to not make $1, but be learning full speed ahead, specifically with the thing that is going to get you closer. So spreadsheets, if that's what they're going to have me do, that is, I guess that's helpful to an extent, but I want to be doing coding for websites and shit. So I would have to make it that I would be learning code for spreadsheets, which I guess is JavaScript. Talked about that yesterday. And in that regard, maybe it would be helpful, but I have to learn some shit first, for sure. I don't know. I'll have to look more into that, because if I can figure out some JavaScript shit for Google Sheets, then that kind of changes things up a little bit for me. Yeah, I actually got to do my Crucible, so I'm just going to hold up my phone. I just am going to get it done. I don't want to have to worry about this later. I'm pretty sure that cut off when I open up my camera app, because I can't have my camera app and record a voice memo, so I'm pretty sure that's when it cut. I talked a little bit after that. Nothing important, but I will repeat myself because I think it's funny. But, yeah, so I got the Crucible done, so that's cool. But dude, I got to piss now. I got to piss bad. I have got to do that. Yep, I do. But I still have 0.5, still got a half mile to go, dude, before I can pee. That's one thing I did last time doing 75 hard, is when I would do my outdoor workout, I just would force myself to piss outside. Felt like if my head went underneath some kind of pavilion or something like that, then it didn't count. But this time I'm kind of doing it different. Like today, the other day I was doing cardio in the gym, and I paused halfway through, went and took a piss, and then came back and resumed the cardio. Previously, I wouldn't have thought that would have been okay. But I think truthfully speaking, I think I took that first attempt, and I was just so rigorous with it, which is good. It's very good. But looking back, I'm like, God damn, dude, I did it so right that now it's like that's the standard almost, that anything less than that is just me screwing off. But that's a high ass fucking standard to live up to every single day. So maybe around that level, maybe that's close to where I'm at as far as the standard goes for myself. I don't know, dude. Not the standard, but more like the limit. I don't know. How could I possibly know that's true, dude? I wasn't like David Goggins throwing up blood in my bathtub. How could I possibly know what a limit is for myself? Walking around with 30 pounds on my back for 3 miles. He wakes up at 4 a.m. and says, I'm going to go run 100 miles. Or excuse me, he says at 10 p.m., hey, before I go to bed, I'm going to run 100 miles. This is crazy, dude. Hey, I don't know. He's a different kind of breed, but anyway, I'm not sure if there's anything else I want to talk about. I feel like these last few shows have been fairly repetitive, but I'm just going to, let's see, what else okay, so as far as social media goes for me, as soon as I'm done with Blade 2, I'm not going to say I'm going to get off social media, but I'm probably just going to kind of go ghost. The reason for that is because, dude, if I don't have to be on social media, then I don't think I want to be. And maybe that'll change because I'll be posting different stuff, and that would be, coding stuff. I don't know if I could help people on social media too. That might be a little bit different, but I don't know. I just don't want to have to post. I don't want to have to post on my story and talk to my story. Right now, I don't want to do any of that. And I think that's honestly almost a crucible for me. I got to post shit, and I got to talk to the store. Dude, I'm good, Let me just hang the fuck out and make stuff. At least that's how I feel right now. And maybe that's just because I've been doing it for 25 days now, 26 days. I think today's day 26. And I'm just so over it now, especially because the stuff that I'm posting is just reposts. It's just so that I can check the box, honestly. But I'm not going to make it more fitness content and try to be more persuasive and try to get people to sign up if I'm not trying to do that anymore. Because the worst thing that could happen, honestly, I think for me would be I post some fire shit and then I get people reaching out wanting to sign up or whatever. Because truthfully, I would say, dude, where were you, 6 months ago? But no, not anymore. Sorry. Decided this ain't it. Dude, I thought about that because I've been posting some different kind of content. I'm just like making reposts and things that do well and things that don't do well, whatever, I don't know. And some of the some of the videos, they do more views than others. And I'm like, what if something just popped off and I got, like 2,000 followers or something like that, and 200 of them messaged me and they wanted a plan? What would I do, And truthfully, I feel like I'd be kind of bummed. I'd be like, dude, now you guys come over and I'm not really trying to do this ever again. I think it'd be kind of dumb to not take advantage of it, I guess. At least get the reps in for sales calls or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know what I would do. But yeah, anyway, so I think that's next Tuesday would be day 31 of Blade 2, which there's no day 31. That'd be it. So I definitely won't be on social then. Definitely won't be talking to the camera, posting or anything like that. Because I don't have anything to say. Half the shit that I'm saying right now is just kind of horse shit. Maybe it's good because I don't care, because I'm just posting whatever. The other day I was like, oh, you guys, I have a standing desk. You guys get a treadmill under your desk and you guys work, or what do you guys do? Let me know. Dude, that's some corny shit. I would never post that. But I just got to get the 2 talking head posts in for the story. And then I got to get in 2 reels, and then 3 carousels and 4 social proof per week. So it's 1 a day, and it can be alternating however I want it to. But that's kind of what I set up for myself. And then the crucible is holding my phone up and talking to people. Or talking to my phone, I should say. And that one has definitely helped, how to get out of the comfort zone the most, because it's all in my head, right? But I realize, I realize that the more that I do it, because just barely, obviously you didn't hear it because my camera was recording, stopped the audio recording here. But when you just don't give a fuck, it's just, it's easy. You just whip your phone out, you just start talking. I wish I could play it, but what I was, fuck was I saying? When you just don't care and you whip your phone out. Oh, that's what I said. In the recording, I'm like, holy shit, I'm very insecure. I feel like every car that's driving by is looking at me and, oh, this is weird, But truth is, dude, half the people that drove by me, half the people at the crosswalk, half of them were on their phones, half of them were talking to their passenger. A couple of them were looking at me. One of them said, what the fuck? The other 20 were like, He's probably FaceTiming. But here I am like, oh no, I can never achieve anything worthwhile because I can't talk in front of people, whatever it is. It sounds so dumb, dude. Fully aware that it sounds dumb, but that's just what's going on in my head. So I gotta tie my shoe, dude. But anyway, so that's just that's what I'm doing. So I don't know what the hell Blade 3 would be. I talked about it yesterday, but we'll see. Don't know when I would start that again. We'll see, but cross that bridge when we get there. I think I'm just gonna, just focus in on 75 hard for now, because I truthfully don't want to be doing this. I thought about just finishing off a day and then just stopping. But I would regret it if I got the resignation, because that means I'm gonna have pretty much all day every day to do stuff for a minute. There's so many things that are up in the air, and they're all contingent on this goddamn resignation, dude. I got the whole thing lined up with Mina. If that goes through, I'd work 2 hours a day as the operations manager guy. That'd be cool. 2 hours a day, $1,800 a month. 2 hours a day. It's kind of cool. Doing shit that I love anyway. And then, that combined with me, with the resignation and getting the income on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. And then if I wanted to add in FedEx money, do that on the weekends or something like that, or just 2 days a week, or whatever the case is, then that would be extra there. Or if the whole Mina thing doesn't work, then I plan on going back to FedEx full time, so I could double dip, take that money, set myself up financially, and Lexi and I would set myself up so that way there wouldn't be any financial burden or stress or any of that horseshit between her and I when we live together. So that's the idea there. And then I wouldn't have to do shit except just just do my thing at home and learn and just work on building stuff. That would be it. Because, I don't know, I think it's kind of like an art. You're one painting away from going viral or whatever, one reel or one video away. And I think maybe that's the same thing with coding. You make one app or one piece of software, something that kind of just changes something or disrupts an industry or something like that. And then you get the eyeballs, you get the cash bags, whatever. So I don't know, just one away. So I always have to keep cracking away at it. And the other thing, I'm going to say this because I'm pretty much done now. The other thing that I've realized is, I have all these great ideas and ambitions and stuff. And then I'll come across some kind of video. And that video is like, should you learn coding? Is AI taking over 2025? And that gets me discouraged, dude. It's like, damn, am I really going to be learning this skill that is going to go away because we have AI? Am I going to be spending all this time, energy, and effort into learning something that is going to be absolutely not even needed ever again because we have AI to do it for us? And that stuff just gets in my head, dude. And I think it's just better if I just didn't see that shit ever. I think it'd be better if I did everything I could to not see that. And I get it that people make those posts and make those titles because they generate clicks, they get a lot of views, you name it, and that's how they get their money. So I get that. Doesn't mean it doesn't plant seeds of doubt in my head, though. So I don't know, man. Lots of things in the air right now. One thing is for certain, I'm stoked. Stoked to keep learning. Stoked to put in this time and learn a new skill and make some cool stuff. That is for sure. But anyway, guys, I'm home. I got to piss. That's the episode today. Thanks for listening. If you're a new listener, I appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Also, quick documentation. I'm averaging, I think I'm almost at 6,000 total downloads. Why is this not coming off? There we go. I'm almost at 6,000 total downloads of all time. I'm almost at 600 episodes. That's an average of 10. Always grateful for anybody who listens. But I can now officially say that, for the first 600 episodes, I averaged 10 listens an episode. Because people talk about, oh man, I'm only getting 20 streams in my first 10 episodes. It's like, bro, you got double than what I got, Anyway, I got to piss. I love you guys. Peace.
That's it for today. If you got some sort of value or you were entertained, please consider leaving a rating on the platform that you're listening on. It helps a ton. If you are looking for a more polished version of this show, you can check out the Allegiant Excellence podcast, where I go deep into mindset, discipline, fitness, and personal development as a man. And don't forget to check out the links below and read the description. There are sometimes things written there that didn't quite make it on the episode. So thank you so much for your ongoing support in a guy that has massive ambition but nothing to show for it quite yet. And as always, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen and support. I'll see you tomorrow.